Hello everybody and welcome back. I'm here with another video, and this video is gonna be about my thoughts so far in the Masters tournament in Paris and a little preview of the quarterfinals. There is still one match left between Monfils and Albot, but I'm gonna predict that match in a straight 2 sets wins for Monfils. He's much better than the Moldovan guy, and I think that the home crowd will help him. Monfils have played good early in this tournament, so I think that he will reach the quarters. And before I begin my prediction in the quarters, I want to talk about what's happened early in this tournament. Like we all know, Masters tournaments are very hard to predict from the beginning. I have some thoughts in my preview before the tournament, and I have guessed that Medvedev and Federer will reach the semifinals, but none of them are gonna play there. Roger withdrew before the tournament, just after I did my video, and Medvedev went out in the first round. A very surprising match. Nobody expected that Shorty will win against him, and with the form that they have shown lately with 6 straight finals, everybody thought that this is gonna be a tournament where he's gonna reach deep. And if you looked at his draw, he had some obstacles in the quarters and in a potential semifinal against maybe Novak and team in the quarters, but none of them are playing there. So this was very hard to predict from the beginning. But I predicted 3 upsets alert, and I got right with each of those 3 upsets alerts. It was Tsonga's match against Rublev and Dimitrov's victory over Goffin and Deminar's victory against RBA Roberto Bautista Agut. Those were my upsets alert in my preview video, and I was right about them, but unfortunately I was wrong about many of the other predictions. But it's like that in Masters. It's not like Grand Slam. It's the match is very open. It's only 3 sets. You don't have time to repair your mistakes. Maybe you can lose 1 set, 2 sets, or come back. But in a Masters or 3 sets tournament, it's much more difficult. That's why you see more upsets in the Masters and not in Grand Slam. If we count mostly the big 3 in the tennis, and then some other top 10 players, they usually play solid in Grand Slams. But anyway, that happens, and what can we say? Medvedev, who has been on the map since the American swing started with 6 straight finals, went in the match with the home favorite Shorty, who made a superb match. It was not one of Medvedev's best matches in his career, but at least now none of the worst either. So credit to Shorty for because he put up such a good performance, and he played much better in that match. I saw that match. So all right, and we had some other matches. We had the last year's finalist Karen Khachanov. He lost early too. He crashed out. And Rublev also against Tsonga. So the 3 Russian guys, Medvedev, Khachanov, and Rublev, crashed out in the first round. Medvedev and Khachanov in the second round because they got a bye in the first round. So that was not what many of the people out there expected, but you have to play your matches. Maybe some of them are tired. It's starting to get end of the season. The only positive about Federer's withdrawal and Medvedev's early exit here is that they're going to have more time to recoup for the ATP finals in London. They will get much more time to rest, and they will probably it's nothing wrong. Sooner or later you're going to lose. You can't go to finals in every other tournament. It was a natural reaction, actually. Better that it happened now and rather than in the ATP finals for Medvedev. But in Roger's case, he listened to his body after his 10th victory in Basel. He is 38 years old now. He has a good schedule that's gonna conserve his energy and hopefully not getting injured so he can play much longer. Some of the tennis experts, maybe other guys who knows about Roger, says that maybe next season is his last season. So it's a good decision. He doesn't. He hopefully he will be 100% fit in the ATP finals. All right, let's talk about some of the matches that I've been watching in this tournament. I want to start with Denis Shapovalov, who won his maiden tournament in Stockholm Open. And in the second round, he met Fabio Fognini, who is a very inconsistent guy. He played a good match against Fognini. He won fair and square in a free-set battle. I think it was a free-set battle. I forgot, maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then in the third round, he beat Alexander Zverev, another inconsistent guy that chases valuable points for the ATP finals. He has now reached the ATP finals, so he can go to London and starting the preparation to protect his title, to defend his title from last year. That was going to be very hard for him, very difficult. I don't think he's going to do that, to be honest. In the match against Shapovalov, these two guys, they are super talented. They have some good skills. Zverev is a hard hitter. He has a solid baseline game. He hits hard from the both backhand and forehand. He has a huge serve, but sometimes he disappears from the matches. And in the last two games, in the match against Shapovalov, I think his knee was a little bit hurt. He showed some sign. He put his hand on his knee, and he looked like he was struggling a little bit. And then Shapovalov, what can I tell you about him? This super talented Canadian who has who has another great talent in Aliassime. So their tennis future is looking very bright. Then Shapovalov can be a top 10 player if he keep his unforced errors low, because he's still young. He has to sharpen a couple of things, and that his unforced errors level. He sometimes, when it gets to clutch moments, he's not making wise decisions. If you watch the match today, you saw that he did some 2 or 3 bad mistakes that he should have won this point. One was a volley, and the other one was an easy forehand when Zverev made a short drop shot. So he just had the chance to just put the ball in, but instead of he hit the ball too hard, and the ball went out on the baseline. So then Shapovalov has a terrific serve, a good backhand. His backhand works only when he has time to swing, because he has a long swing on his backhand. And if he gets the time, if his movement is right, he will punish you with his backhand. And he has a solid, good forehand also, and a tennis mind that reminds me of John McEnroe. He has soft hands, but he has to be more consistent. He has to close his matches earlier, because finish them and win earlier, because he almost gave the opportunity to Zverev to break back when he was up 5-2 and 4-2 in the third set. So Zverev, what can we say? It was not an it didn't came as a surprise for me, to be honest. All right, on to the next player. I have to talk about the Chilean guy Garin, who has played superb in this tournament. He has a good serve, a huge serve that gives him many free points. He has a solid baseline game, especially his forehand is very flat and hard. He hit the lines. He can outpunch you from the baseline. In his first match, he met Jon Isner, who is a guy that always relies on his serve, of course, as you know. He's a serve robot, in my opinion. Even though he made 25 aces, he still lost against Garin. So that shows that Garin is a good player. It's not just a fluke, because earlier today he also beat Shardy, who beat Medvedev in his first match in the second round. And this was the second time Shardy had match point against Garin. When they met in Houston on the clay there, he had 5 match points, but still he lost. Today I think he had 2 or 3 match points in the last tie break. He couldn't close that match either, and gave Garin the opportunity to get out of the jail card, and he took that chance. And now Shardy will have to watch the tournament from the public section. So good win for him. And of course we have Rafael Nadal and Novak left. Novak hasn't convinced me in his 2 matches. Some say that he's not 100%, he's a little bit sick. You saw the match against the French dude Motet. He had the chance to win the first set. We had 2 set points. He couldn't convert them, even if they were in Novak's serve. And then when Novak was he was serving for the first set, Novak broke him. And then in the second set, it was no doubt that Novak won. Same thing today against Kyle Edmund. He was close of winning the first set. I think he had a set point in the tie break. If there was 1 or 2, I forgot. But he made some crucial mistakes. Novak does what is best. He moves around his opponent from corner to corner, make them run, and eventually, because Novak is such a solid baseliner, eventually downforce errors comes, and he takes the advantage and thrive when his opponent misses. And usually, if you want to beat Novak, you have to win the first set, especially in 3-set tournaments like Masters. If you give Novak the first set, it's almost ciao goodbye for you. Only a guy like Nadal and maybe Federer can come back from that scenario. You have to win the first set. That's why it's so important. That's why these 2 guys, Rafael Nadal and Djokovic, are so consistent. If you give them the finger, they will take your whole hand, your body. They will take your soul. They will take everything in your tennis racket. They will make you look like a fool. Because how often do you get a chance to win the first set against Novak? Just look at the stats. They have won 33 Masters, and Novak have won 30 or 29 or 31 maybe, perhaps, I forgot. And that's the difference between these guys and the others. Because Nadal will never beat himself. You saw the match against Wawrinka today. He played toe-to-toe with Nadal, but in the clutch moment, he just got 1 break opportunity in the first set, he took it. In the second set, he took 1. It was enough. Wawrinka couldn't do that because Nadal is a bad matchup for Nadal. I'm sorry, Nadal is a bad matchup for Wawrinka because I think the head-to-head stats is now 24-3 in Nadal's favor. And on a pretty good day, Wawrinka hits through anybody on the court. He has done that to Novak, he has done that to Federer, he has done that 3 times against Nadal. He has beaten all of these big three in Grand Slams. He has beaten Nadal in a Grand Slam final in AO, even though he withdrew with an injury. He broke the match. And of course, Novak knows he has been beaten by Wawrinka in 2 Grand Slam finals, I think. And he does too much unforced error to win against a guy like Nadal, who is so solid. He doesn't give away a point for free. Novak can do that. He can disappear for 5-10 minutes in matches, and Roger too. But Nadal never does that. And that's why he never sleep. And a guy like Wawrinka, who is a solid, good player, one of the best out there, beside Roger, Rafa, and Roger, together with Murray and Cilic and Del Potro, are the only guys that have won a Grand Slam between them. So Nadal is just too rock solid. He doesn't want to lose a single point. He wants to win every point. That's why it makes it so difficult to beat him. And you have to have a huge game. You have to be a hard hitter like Söderling, like Novak. You have to pay Nadal back with his own medicine. And a guy like Wawrinka doesn't possess that game. He does too many unforced errors. He has not a good backhand returning game. His return game in general is not good enough to beat a guy like Rafa. That's the truth. Just look at his matches. Anyway, on to the quarterfinals. The first blockbuster quarterfinal is in between Novak Djokovic and Citypass. Citypass have beaten Novak twice this year, I think. Earlier this year, I forgot which tournament it was. And lately, in the last Masters in Shanghai, he beat Novak. So if Novak plays like he has done these first 2 matches, he's gonna lose this match. But something tells me when he's now in the quarter, he will grow. He knows when to peak at the right moment. So I think that this matchup, even though Tsitsipas has a good chance to win this match, it's gonna be a close match. I think I will give the slightest edge to Novak because of his mental strength, but I'm not counting Tsitsipas out. So this match is 55-45 in Novak's favor. And in the second quarterfinal, it's between Jo Wilfred Tsonga and Nadal. The home crowd will definitely give Tsonga the advantage, but that's the only advantage he's gonna get from Nadal. Just look at the recent meeting in Wimbledon, what Nadal did to him. It was a terrible performance by... was it a terrible performance by Tsonga, or was Rafa just too good? You decide. I will go with that Nadal was just simply much better. He knows how to beat this guy. He's now getting in shape. He is close of reaching the final, maybe win the title that he still misses. So I give the edge to Nadal in this second quarterfinal. It's going to be an interesting final. Maybe he can take a set from Nadal. Actually, maybe he can win also. It's not that that he has a chance, but he's not the same player as before. So he has to keep his unforced error level down. He has to attack Nadal, especially his backhand. He has to do something tricky, mix up shots to win. But I think that Nadal will be too strong. And in the third quarterfinal, it's an interesting match between two players. I don't know if they have met before, but it's between Dimitrov and Garin. Dimitrov played some solid, good tennis against Goffin. He's 8 up in the head-to-head. I predicted that match will go into Dimitrov's favor. And I was right, even though Dimitrov has not been the player that he was when he won the ATP Finals 2017. In this matchup, I think he will win this match. His match against Dominic Thiem was one of the best performances I've seen Dimitrov do, actually. He was superb. He was hitting through Thiem. Thiem wasn't pale in this match. He actually tried, but the Bulgarian baby-fed was just too good for him in this match. He was just too good. He did everything that he does when he plays good. A light version of Federer, not ultra offensive, but a solid good baseliner with some good tennis mind. His backhand was phenomenal today. His net coverage was superb today. He served very good today also. And that was enough to beat Dominic Thiem today. And it will probably be enough to beat Garin. If he can return Garin's big serve, if he can put his teeth into Garin's serve and make some good returns, have a high level of returning game, I think that he will win. Because when the ball is in play, I think Dimitrov will have the edge, and I give the favor to Dimitrov, even though this match is also unpredictable to predict. It's very tight. It's going to be maybe a free-set thriller. I give the edge to Dimitrov anyway. And in the fourth quarterfinal, it's between Shapovalov and the match that has not been played yet between Monfils and Albot. But I think that Monfils will win this match. And in a potential quarterfinal, this is going to be a very entertaining match to watch, because both of the players have an entertaining game style. We all know Monfils, and we all know how Shapovalov plays. So I think that depending on the form tomorrow, depending on if the player that keep his unforced error down in that match have the biggest chance to win. Because Monfils, he is a good server, he is a good baseliner. The same goes with Shapovalov. Both are technical player. Both of them can play from the net. They can play from every section of the court. They are magicians, both of them. They will provide us with some good quality tennis tomorrow. But I'm going to go bold with this one. I think that maybe Shapovalov can take this one. And if Monfils loses later today against Albot, I think that Dennis will win that match also. So I think that Shapovalov will meet Nadal in the semifinal, and Novak will meet Dimitrov in the other semifinal. That's my prediction. Alright, folks, thanks for watching this video. Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you. Bye-bye.